There was a problem with JetEngine listings, and because of this, very many people were going bananas. Why? Because you just couldn't affect the document structure. When you create listings, you need to make them accessible, and for that to happen, it meant that the listing had to be a certain way in the code. Now, visually, nothing changes. But let's see what happens when we right-click and inspect this particular listing. As you can see, this is a listing, a regular JetEngine listing, and it has things that you shouldn't bother about reading their content because they don't matter for this video. But what you need to do is just right-click on anywhere in between these listings and click on Inspect. Now, when you inspect the page such as this, you need to click on this icon right here. Once you select that, let's scroll down and select that listing. As you can see, selecting it like this, hovering over it like this, shows a visual representation of what is being selected. Now, let's say we select an item like this, and we come inside of the document structure. Let's just open it up a little bit. You can take note here that this is the listing grid. You can see it both visually and inside of the code. It needs to be a UL instead of a div, inside of which you need to have two LIs. And it may look right when you look at it like this, but it may not be right for the site you're developing. Until now, that has simply been impossible. But now, see how easy it is for me to just change it from a div to a UL. I just need to come inside of the edit page. By the way, it doesn't matter if you're using Elementor or Bricks or Gutenberg. The process is almost the same. I'm going to tell you how to do that in the course of this video, but just watch how this now changes to a UL. I just need to select that listing. I need to come inside of Advanced, and inside of Classes here, I just need to paste listing-UL. And once I click on Publish now and come to the front end and now refresh this page, what I have now is no longer a div, but a UL. If I select that and just select it inside of the document structure here, you see here that it's now a UL and we have two LIs inside of there. This is good. This is absolutely good. And I beg you, do not subscribe to this channel until we have solved this puzzle. Don't go running off just yet. There are lots of things I did beforehand to get this to work, so just hold your horses and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All you need to do is to have JetEngine installed and make use of a snippet that I'm going to share with you. You're going to put that snippet inside of any snippet plugin of your choice or even inside of the child theme. It's your choice. But for me, I'm going to make use of Fluent Snippets to add my snippet, and it's going to do the exact same thing. Now, whether you use Elementor or Bricks Builder or Gutenberg doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to show you how I got this to work in my case, and you can replicate it inside of any setup that you currently have. So let's get on with what's important. As you notice, we have version 3.6.1 of JetEngine installed here. You need to have this or higher for this to work. Take note that when you click on View Details, you can notice that on December 11, 2024, we had this new JetEngine update right here. You can see it here as the third item. You can see the update is to allow to change the listing grid HTML tag by hooking into the listing grid setting. Now, let's go over how you can get this to work. Once you click on this URL, you'll land on this GitHub page. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you see that one of the developers in the CrocoBlock team left this message here for us. You notice JetEngine 3.6.1 or higher is required for this to work. And in order to get it to work, we need to click on this link right here. Let's open this link in a new tab. It carries the code that we need to add to our functions.php or our Fluent Snippets plugin or any other plugin of your choice. Now, if we come inside here, we just need to copy this entire code right from here all the way to the bottom. We can just right click and copy. Now, let's come inside of our Fluent Snippet plugin that we have here and click on Create Your First Snippets. We want to leave the snippets type to functions.php. That is fine. We want to come inside of code here and just simply paste that inside of there. Now that we have that pasted, we want to leave everything else as is. Just give the snippet a name. Inside of here, I'm just going to call the snippet change listing from div to UL. And we can click on Create Snippet. Now, let's take a look at the listing I showed you at the beginning of this video. You can come inside of here to the front end, and you notice this is the listing just right here. Let's refresh and see what happens here. If we right-click and click on inspect, again, as I showed at the beginning of this video, you can notice here that the listing, let's scroll down so you can see it clearly. Let's just drag this up just a little bit. Okay, now you have here a div, which is what the listing is. You know it's the listing because inside of class here, you see JetEngine listing grid. That's fine, right? So that's the listing grid inside of the document structure. Inside of that listing grid, you see you have two divs here. As I hover over them, you can see the relevant listing that I'm selecting, right? Good. Now you see that both of them are divs. In fact, the parent is also a div. But semantically speaking, it should be a UL followed with two LIs inside of here. So an unordered list inside of which you have two list items, and that will basically form our listing. In fact, screen readers will be able to very easily tell one listing item from the other. So let's come back inside of the Fluent Snippets again. We want to come back to snippets and we want to activate this. It's currently deactivated. We just want to toggle it on right here. Now we see it's published and we're ready to make use of it. We can come to the front end now and refresh this and see if it now works. Does it? Absolutely not. And why? Because of the fact that we've not specified that the code we added should be applied on this particular listing. And the way to do that will depend on your builder. Now, this is where it gets different depending on the builder you're using. If you're using Elementor or Gutenberg, the process is the same. But if you're using Bricks, it's a little bit different. I'm going to show you that. You want to come inside of Edit page. You want to come to the Edit page of that particular page where the listing is placed. You want to select the listing widget, and inside of Advanced, you want to select Advanced and come down here to where you have CSS classes. Now, if you already have a class here, such as already, maybe there's a class called already there, wrongly spelled, that's fine. You just need to add a space and put this inside. Now, put what? If you come back inside of the GitHub page and you want to scroll down here, you see here that in Elementor in the block editor, you need to add a class listing UL or listing unordered lists, just exactly the way you see it. But in Bricks Builder, you want to add it as an attribute. So you want to type in just exactly what you see here inside of the attribute. But for us, since we're using Elementor, let's do that by selecting listing UL, just like this. We want to copy that. We want to come back inside of Edit page. And we want to put that inside of the CSS class here. Now, whether or not we had a class before, we can just add listing UL to it after separating it with a space. Okay. And then we want to click on publish. Now, let's come to the front end and refresh this and see what happens now. Does it change to UL? We'll find out. We just need to click on this again. And then we need to select the listing grid item. There we have it. As you can see, it's now a UL. And inside of which you have two LIs. Now, semantically speaking and accessibility-wise, this helps you do things the correct way. It doesn't really change anything visually on the page, but it helps you get your document structure in order. Now the puzzle is solved and you're free to subscribe. My name is Tobi Salami, and until next time, people, stay dynamic.